Welcome and hello to another episode of No Answers Yet. I am one of your hosts, Trey.
I'm the other one, the better host, Kiko Fresh.
He's the better host. The best host of all, though, is Terry behind us.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Shout out to Terry.
Shout out to Terry. And then we have, as always, English on the knobs. Although, not as always, because soon he'll be taking a little trip. Yeah. So the next 3 episodes or so are going to be pre-recorded. So, but we love you guys so much that we put the effort through to actually bring changes of clothes. So you won't notice at all. But you will notice that my beard doesn't grow at all. And then out of nowhere on the 4th week, poof. So look out for that.
Yeah, look out for that Trey's beard, guys. It's going to be...
Yeah. All right. We have 3 sound effects for my beard growing. So today we're going to talk about scams.
Yes, scams.
Because we actually just had a fun little interaction with a scam.
We did.
So, Kiko, you can start us off with the story.
Yeah. So this happened on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I get a text from some random area code I never saw before in my life.
Which is, we looked it up, or I didn't even have to look it up. My dad is from the area. It's Louisville area code.
So, yeah. And it was some guy, his name is Jack. Shout out to Jack, checking us out on Instagram. He was just like saying like he saw our show and he wanted to help us get more followers. So he's like, he gave me the website and it was check us out. And I text him back and I was like, okay, cool. Like, how'd you get my number? He said he got it off its Instagram page because it's public information.
Which was fishy at first, but then we actually looked and
my number
currently.
Was, I don't know why my number was
we're gonna change that.
Yeah, I don't want people getting my number.
But by the time this is posted, it won't be the. Yeah. But so that wasn't as fishy as we thought. But
so then so I texted him. I was like, okay. He told me, and I was like, he's like, he wanted us to go check it out. I was like, oh, what'd you think of our show? And he's like, it's amazing! Exclamation point. And I was like, oh wow, okay, well, all right. This dude's really praising us, but okay, appreciate the love. I was like, oh, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was like, all right, let me talk to my other good friends, and we'll give you a call back, and see what's up, and that's when we called back, and
so
scam.
Yeah. So what we did was we first of all, in the text message, he spoke to Kiko. I think he sent a total of 4.
Yeah, it was 4 like that. 4 messages. Yeah.
2 of them were
2 links.
Were links to the website. Yeah. flockngt.cc. And then a couple messages later, he said, "Oh, that's when he said, how was it?"
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, "It was amazing. Did you get a chance to check out our website, flockmgt.com, which is a different website?" And I was under the impression, and I may be wrong here. This is not why we know it's a scam, but I was always under the impression that a successful company can buy the domain names for all of the similar site names and then have it linked to one. But that didn't seem to be what was happening. It looked like each one was its own website, which is what was weird.
It was
they
weird.
Weren't like I asked later the lady who we called, and she said that it was all linking to one, which I thought was normal. But like again, it wasn't doing that. When you went up to the top, it was still the one you typed in. I don't know. Again, I mean, I may be wrong about that. It may have been linking to that original domain name, but that was fishy. But yeah, he seemed very one-track minded with that, and
Then he gave my number to some other guy who called us. Because apparently he couldn't call us. Yeah, which was weird.
Yeah, it was really weird. And so his name was Sean. And Sean called, and we talked to Sean briefly.
Sean was an interested fellow.
Very interesting. And we shamefully did not record that call. But we did record the second call, so we're going to post that, or we're actually going to have that in this video.
Yeah.
And give or take about 5 minutes before we kind of lead up to it. So the first call was a lot more interesting because we were calling out so many things. And I had him on, and every single thing I said, he would kind of have some answer. And my favorite one though was, because so his claim is that they give out followers that are not bots, which is suspect at best.
Yeah.
Because that's their whole thing. We didn't even say that really, but they offer followers for your Instagram page, which tells me actually in a funny way, ironically, that he doesn't actually like our program because he thinks that we need bots followers.
Right, exactly.
Which is funny. I actually just thought about that. So, so Sean called and I asked what credentials do you guys have? Because I asked the same thing to the lady earlier, and she didn't seem to understand what the word credentials was, because she said, "I can't give you any private information."
But that's not private information.
That's not what that means.
It's a question.
Okay. So, and he did that a couple times too. He was saying things like, "Things are private. I can't tell you," for stuff that
Right.
was on their website.
All right.
And
First
again,
of all,
the website
It's not even a
is
website.
not really a website. It's like
it's like
a tall
page.
PDF that, like, whenever it says check something out, and you click it, and it would link down to the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
That was all the payment information.
Yeah.
Every single time. There were a couple things that linked away from it. Again, to PDFs. One of them was their terms of service, which was very cut and dry, basic legal mumbo jumbo. You know, this is what you agree to if you do blah, blah, blah. And then out of nowhere, page 3 of 6. And this is how I knew it was them and not the person who actually typed this terms of service in the original. It was suddenly in caps and misspelled a bunch of words, like incidentally, which is spelled indecently. And it said essentially, like, if you read through it and cut out all the bull crap, it was basically saying you agree to basically excuse us from any damages that will happen. Essentially, it was basically like excusing them from anything, and which is of course like, and it made it so easy to find. You just scroll down until you find all the caps, and we'll actually we can link that the terms of service. It was hilarious actually. So there's a lot of things going on here. And then, so when I asked the guys, what are your credentials? Can you give us anything that'll, comfort us a little bit, because we are a bit apprehensive? And he goes, well, you can look up actually our website, and you can look up the reviews for us. And when you do that, when you look up flock management reviews, the Better Business Bureau pops up, and they have a review of D+.
D+, guys.
Which translates to 1 point.
D+.
1 point, or 1.5 stars, I think.
Yeah.
And when you click that, there is one review. One. And as I'm saying this, Sean goes, "Oh yes, there." And I was like, "What do you guys have D plus, rating?"
Yeah,
and he goes, "Actually, if you look, we have several positive and a few negative, and it's really just sometimes our clients are not happy with their service." And I was like, "Yeah, I see one review and it's negative." And he goes, "Oh, that's interesting. I'm not really sure." And I was like, "Uh-huh." And then I clicked that more information on the site that the Better Business Bureau is speaking of, and it has a different address listed. And we had briefly asked him before, where are you guys located? Because it says, because if you type in their address at the very bottom of their page, of their website, it is 1000 East Hillsborough Avenue in Deerfield, Florida. Something like that. And when I asked him about that, because when you Google that, it's a different company. And he was like, "Oh, well, we have a bunch of different companies in the same building." And I was like, "Okay, that's
we have
kind
like some radio stations." And I was like,
"Okay, that's weird, but okay, fine. If you're a startup, that's fine." But yeah, anyway, so and then when you go to the Better Business Bureau, the same company has a different address entirely. And I said, "So this actually has you listed as a different address." And he goes, "Oh, that shouldn't be there at all. It's the first one you said." And I was like, "And what was that? What was that first address?" And then he hung up on us. Because you could hear him like shuffling through papers, trying to remember what that first address was, and he was just like, "What? Hillsborough," and he hung up.
And then 3 minutes later,
he calls us back. We thought it was over.
He calls my phone back.
We're lamenting over the fact that we didn't record it when he calls us back.
Yeah.
And then we did record that.
And he apologizes.
He did, yes. And so here is that one.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Enjoy it. Damn, I'm really sad that we didn't record that. Because it was the perfect timing on it too. It was like, what was that first address? Doot, doot. So funny. You could hear him.
Shoot, he's calling back. He's calling back. Yo, we should start like recording or something.
Wait.
Actually, should we or no? Just
answer.
Hello?
Hello, this is Sean from Flock Management. The line broke for a second here, and I lost you, so I called you back.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was a little concerned. I thought you hung up on us.
Oh no, well, it was I thought you hung up on me, or something went wrong with the line. Not sure what happened.
No worries.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure where we were at the time where the line broke.
We were asking what was the first address. I lost it.
The Hillsborough Avenue in Deerfield Beach.
Okay, is that not where you are?
Yeah, I'm working here. Some of the sales representatives and account managers are working remotely, as I said, so
Okay,
that's what I can tell you.
gotcha. Because I was just
Is there anything out there that you would like to know about our services?
yeah, because we were probably interested in doing probably the middle one. Not too sure if we want to invest the whole amount, but the second package sounds good.
It is good. So it is maybe, as I said, since you're not locked in, you can change between packages. You can check a package for a month and see if that's okay with you. For you, you can change the package next month, or just keep going with the package if you're satisfied. So basically, that's how it works.
Okay. All right. So.
And by the way, as I said, the subscription is done exclusively through the website, so you can all take time, browse through the website at your own pace, and at the end decide, of course, which package suits you the most, if any of them do. And when you subscribe, an account manager would reach out to you in a few hours, and that's it.
Okay. So in this capacity, like, what would we be able to speak to Jack?
Well, Jack is on message duty. He's not really someone who talks with potential clients or clients itself. So if you choose to subscribe, you would be then talking to your personal account manager, and that's basically it. If you have any issues, you can, of course, schedule a call with us here. We do sales, of course, but customer service as well. But I believe there wouldn't be any issues.
Okay. Because I think my friend Kiko just said that. Interesting. So Jack actually just messaged us and said that we should go through a call, but we got called by you.
Yeah, because you said Jack asked you to call us.
Yeah, he basically assigned, that's how he works here, he assigned the call to me, so I called you, didn't really message him didn't really plan to message him until I finished the call, so I can't inform him that I called you, so he doesn't have to message you now, but Jack is, as I said, on message duty, so he doesn't really have anything to do directly with clients. If you would like to subscribe, you really don't have to go through Jack or through me at all. It's through the website.
So we can't go through you?
Well, the subscription, as I said, it's done on the website because we don't take any credit card information over the phone. You just go to the website and that's it. It's quite straightforward.
Okay. So sorry. It's just a little. Can I? Why don't you guys do it over the phone?
Can you repeat?
Why don't you guys do the card over the phone?
Well, it's for your own security, so we don't take credit card information over the phone. On the website is the most secure way for payment, and that's it.
I don't understand. Okay.
Well, people can, write down your card number when you dictate over the phone, so it's not secure.
Interesting.
Right, but that's what, my cable company does that. I can do my card information over the phone.
Look, it's just our policy, so,
Okay, I wasn't trying to get an attitude.
Well, you're skeptical from the start. I understand that. I understood it at the start. Now it's going over the top because I've said everything basically, and you still don't believe. I'm not sure if you believe we're a scam still. So I really don't have time to be talking about is it a scam or not? Is it what's the method of payment or not? Where we located it? It's kind of getting over the top.
Sorry, hold on. So I'm sorry if there's been a miscommunication here. I'm really not trying to upset you or anything. I'm just trying to make sure because we're spending money here.
Yes, I understand. We have a lot of skeptical people, and that's understandable. I would be as well. And we've talked about maybe 15 minutes, and you're still asking such questions, and I'm really not sure why.
Well, mostly because if you work at what address again?
Hillsborough Avenue.
Right, but what's the address? Because you go there every day for work, but you can't tell me what the address is. It's
1000 East Hillsborough Avenue.
Okay.
So you see, you're still skeptical, so I have to.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that you didn't tell us what that address was before when it's on your website. That's not private information.
Well, no, I did tell you the address afterwards. I believe I told you at the start of the second call. I'm not sure.
No, at the start of this second call, you actually just said Hillsborough. Again, because at the beginning, at the end of the first call, when we were disconnected is when I asked what the first address was again.
I just told you the address where we work, so I'm not sure if there's anything else I can do for you.
Okay, I mean, like, I don't really understand what happened here. We were planning on going with the second package.
Yeah, I understand. It's just I apologize again. So it's just that I usually talk about our services and everything. Now I talk about where I work, what's the address, what's the method of payment, and I understand that as well. And I was talking about that with you, and I was then. We finished that. We were talking about the package. I was, of course, talking what you can expect for the second package, and then again we went back to that. So it's just because of that. I'm really sorry if I don't have an attitude. I just don't really want to talk about that. I just want to talk about the services and everything.
Okay. Do you have like a supervisor or anybody I can talk to?
Not really. I can forward this to the relevant department, and they would call you if they seem if they think that they should.
Sorry.
I can forward your number, and someone can call you if you want.
Okay. Yes.
All right. I will do that.
All right. Thank you very much, Sean.
Okay. Bye.
What? He's like, I haven't, like, he starts getting, like, an attitude about it, and then he's like, I understand you're skeptical, I would be too. And he's, like, calling me over the top. Because I knew it was a scam, I was being perfectly reasonable. I feel like, come on, guy. And then when I asked for a superior, he goes, I can forward your number, and then if they decide that it's worth sending your number, I was like, that's how you know it's a scam, is because if it's a genuine business who wants your business, they will do anything they can in that moment to salvage it. Especially that's why I kept saying we were interested in doing the second package, because I was trying to salvage the mood. And he's still like, I don't know, man.
But he got so defensive when you were never rude to begin with. Like, you were very calm, like you asked him a question.
Also,
like,
that was the first time he gave me the address. The first time.
I know, and those were legitimate questions that we were asking, like, like
easy questions to answer if you're not a scam.
Exactly, like,
come on, dude.
I can't see about asking the address multiple times.
But he never gave us the address.
Right,
he kept saying Hillsborough, which is not the address. That's the street.
I could see why that could be frustrating, especially if it is a scam.
It is.
Because you asked him a legit question.
No, at the beginning, at the end of the first call. Yes, he did. No, because it would have said call disconnected or something.
Right.
He hung up. That's what yes. Also, you could hear him when I asked him what the first address was, because I was like, wait, what was that first one again? You could hear him shuffling through papers, and then he hung up.
Yeah.
Because he was going, crap, what is it? Like.
Yeah, he hung up, he looked it up, and then he called back.
Uh-huh.
And then he says, "Oh, I thought we got disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you guys like
Oh,
no, I
you guys hung
didn't.
up.
I didn't hang out with you guys."
Yeah.
Get put down.
Which is stupid because it's easy to hang up on somebody without clicking. You can do the like slow. Come on, guy. This guy's not even trying.
Actually heard it. It was like,
And we're not gonna call back. There's no way we're getting a call back.
I'm done.
Come on.
I'm done with these guys.
This is hilarious. So that was the second call.
Yeah.
You can hear he's getting very frustrated because I'm asking questions, but I'm pretending to still be a client, which is giving him a lot of internal conflict, I think, because he's like trying to save the sale, which is frustrating for many reasons. Because first of all, if you've ever worked in customer service, if somebody is implying that there's going to be a sale involved, you're not going to do that. Any really of what he did, and like acting like where the company is located is private information is very bizarre, especially when it's at the bottom of their website.
And they do social media, so everybody knows everything's on social media. So it's like, I don't know why they're trying to keep it a secret. Like,
and then he supposedly drives there every day for work, and he couldn't tell me what the address was. He kept just saying Hillsborough Drive.
Yeah, which is
not even what it was. It was like Hillsborough Ave, and it was not even that because that's not even an address. That's not an address. That's not what an address is. That's a street. So
he was getting frustrated. I don't know why.
He really
like,
was.
Sir, I'm not here to talk about my work
and
or
I was
my
like,
address. I'm here to sell you.
Weird.
So like, and you, but the time you were talking to him, trying to buy this second plan, and he didn't want to talk about it. for some
Yeah, and I
reason.
was like,
so sketchy.
he kept saying like, I understand that you're skeptical. I would be too. And I was like, then stop being a jerk.
Exactly. We're asking questions. Like, if we're gonna give our
Yeah,
money
and I was
to you
again.
guys, like,
you can hear
we're
my
asking
voice, my
questions.
tone of voice in the second call is the same as it was in the first one. I was being
Yeah.
very, very like I was being kind
Yeah,
as
you
well as I
were.
could. Yeah. So he was laughing a bunch, but you know.
No, I couldn't
But
help it.
hopefully you can't hear that. I don't know. Like you weren't laughing too hard. But yeah. And so like I finally was like, can I talk to your superior? Because I was like, I would like to buy this, and I'm still I'm having second doubts, especially because the person I'm asking about this is getting frustrated with me.
Yeah.
And
For asking questions.
Yeah, and he was like, I'll give you your number. I give them your number, and if they deem it
worthy.
then they'll give you a call. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. So because to me that just means you're not going to give them my number. If this was legit. In that situation, you would
would've
never
got
give your superior
supervisor
the number.
right away.
You just never do it.
Right.
You would just say like, "Oh, they must not have done it." Worthy. So it was like it was just fishy. Anyway, so we looked it up, and the one review was literally a guy saying like they don't do anything for you, like they don't up and run away with your money, but they basically just don't do any of the work they say they're going to do.
Said it's a scam.
He didn't say it was a scam.
He did. Oh.
He just said that they're worthless.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did say that.
He was like,
he said it twice, didn't he?
Yeah,
Like,
he said if they ever do anything wrong, they'll blame you for it, and then
Yeah.
they'll like give you the silent treatment for a few days. They just literally won't respond to you for a few days, and then they'll finally start doing their job again. But which is again very slow. It's like they trickle in followers, and at the end of the month, if you say you didn't give me all the followers you promised, they go, well, we have no control over that, sir. And it's like, but you promised.
Yeah, you promised. It says it on your website.
It literally
and then,
says it says the lowest package was just $60 a month, by the way.
Yeah.
Is 800 at least. It says at least 800 followers a month.
And then he said 700.
Yeah, and then the next one is 1,200, and he's like, yeah, sometimes we'll get to 700, and it's not quite that, and understandably our clients are upset. And I was
Well,
like,
yeah, because you say you're selling a service that you got to come through.
because he kept saying he's
and-
like, we didn't promise anything, and I was like,
Yeah,
you did though.
did.
But those terms of service,
So I guess the moral of the story is do your research like we did. Like,
Yeah.
don't just because it sounds good and it's
question everything,
yeah,
and
question.
really just don't
don't trust people. Unfortunately, it's hard to say that, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's reality.
be on your toes.
Always be watching out for these scam.
Yeah, but shout out to Jack and Sean and Barbara, I believe. Oh, we did. That was another thing is we called Barbara from the line saying we were going to be potential customers, and then we called her again from a different phone as an actual client because we hit number 2 instead of 1, and we got connected with Barbara again, who was apparently answering phones for clients and non-clients, and we were like, and I used a different voice, and I said basically we were unhappy because we didn't get the services we were provided, and she goes like, oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking to? And I was like, you can't tell from my number. And she said, well, I can tell from your number that you're a client. And I was like, no.
Which
you
we are
can't.
not clients.
So there's just a lot of things like
Yeah.
that. And usually when you deal with any company, and we spoke to 2 people actually, that's fishy. If you call multiple times and you get the same person every time, come on.
yeah.
So Sean and Barbara is possibly the only people that exist in this company. So just look out for that. And we're going to title this episode accordingly. And watch out for flock management. Do not give them money.
Do not.
Ever.
Do not.
Lest you want Sean to run off with it.
To his address where he doesn't know where.
Where do you work? Somewhere in Hillsborough. I don't know where I am right now. Help me. So, So that'll be it for this episode.
So, yeah.
Song of the week, as always, has nothing to do with what we just talked about. It's going to be Loud by Silk City. It came out this week. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy it.
It came out last week. It's going to be confusing. It came out recently. Go with that. Thanks for joining us. We're going to do a few more episodes here. We're going to change clothes so you don't know. It's a little behind the scenes treatment.
Yeah.
Look out for spot the differences.
Movie
The lighting
magic.
should be the same. So we will see you very soon. But you'll see us in 2 weeks,
Yeah, you will.
and then 3 weeks, and then Tyler will be back because we don't know how to do this by ourselves. So
Thanks for joining us.
he's
on
making a
the
face
episode.
right now, man. He's loving this. He does
He
not
is.
like that we told him. Thanks for joining us. My name's Trey.
It's your boy. Kiko Fresh.
It is your boy Terry, and then English as always
Thank
on
you,
the knobs.
English. Such a
We will
gentleman.
miss you, man.
We truly will miss you.
So much.
All right, guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Ooh,
Yeah.
Got distracted.
Yeah. a
We
good
will see
night.
you next week.
We out.